How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We're going to be checking out the canal that accidentally grew a forest in the Arizona desert. So, there's canals all over the world. Um, obviously there's a ton of canals in the Netherlands. I've been doing a lot of reactions on the Netherlands and stuff. We're going to find out about this canal in the Arizona desert that accidentally grew a forest. So, there will be a link to the original video in the description section down below, as always. And the original channel's by, let me see here, Andrew Millison. So make sure you go check that channel out. And we're going to jump in on it and find out what this is all about.
So here we are west of Phoenix in the desert at the Central Arizona Project Canal. This canal brings 500 billion gallons of water every year from the Colorado River all the way to the Phoenix Basin. 80% of the population of Arizona basically gets their water from this canal. Now,
Wow, so 80%, huh? I wonder how much of this is, you got all this stuff that's being diverted away from the actual rivers, right? And then I don't know if you heard about it or not, but the reservoir out in Las Vegas was drying up. Off the top of my head, I can't remember the name of the lake or whatever, or the reservoir. And it's drying up because you got all these, all this water being diverted away. 80% of Arizona is being supplied by the Colorado River through this canal. That's crazy. How much of that water in nature before intervention with man, would have went somewhere else, and just we're changing the landscape a lot.
Colorado River used to flow all the way to the ocean through Mexico. But now the Colorado River doesn't even make it to the ocean because so much water is pulled out by the various states that use it. Arizona.
That's what I was saying. Wow, so they cut it off so Mexico don't even get. So it would have. So the Colorado River, would have it flowed through here, right, down towards Mexico? Or would have it went more this way? It's like, wow, way to screw over the. Sorry, I keep getting notifications on my phone. Way to screw over the country next to us, right?
Being a large user. This canal travels 336 miles, and it's got to be pumped up over mountain ranges in order for it to move by gravity. It was started in 1973, the year I was born, and it was completed in 1993. So this is.
How did Arizona get water before that then? Or was Arizona just pretty desolate, and then after the water came in, you started to see cities pop up? I wonder.
About 30 years of this canal being here, and basically this is the lifeblood of the majority of the population of Arizona. Of that 500 billion gallons of water, about 5 million gallons evaporates each year. There's a lake just a little ways down from here called Lake Pleasant. A lot of this water is actually pumped in to fill Lake Pleasant, and about 16 million gallons evaporates from the surface area of Lake Pleasant each year. And then over 100 billion gallons each year are actually pumped back into the ground in order to store it in the aquifer to be pumped out for reserves. So it's this crazy huge piece of infrastructure. As far as water marvels, Arizona would not be the place that it was today. The green lawns and golf courses and development and the green agriculture where they're growing alfalfa and cotton, and you see the.
I gotta go back because you only see the green stuff in select locations. Like, that's pretty green right there. But look, it's all brown around it, right? You got some semi-greenness here, but then right there, nothing. There's nothing there. There's no reason for grass to grow. Around here, if it's an empty lot, grass is still going to grow because we still have water coming in. It's not a desert, right? That's all dirt and sand or something. And then look at these houses. A lot of those houses don't even have like green grass in their yards. Like some of them do down in there. There's, but then it's like there's a lot of dry desert in between. Like, look at that patch of nothingness. That's crazy.
We're growing alfalfa and cotton, and you see the expansive freeways and urban sprawl of Phoenix with its green lawns and green grass.
Right here, yeah. Green lawns and green grass. Okay. Not desert, 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 desert. Okay, now you got a little bit. Must be some rich people that live there. Must be a couple rich people that live there can afford some water. Look at all these guys. They ain't got nothing in the middle. Just dirt.
And swimming pools, and all of this is made possible because of this, basically the redirection of this massive amount of the Colorado River's water into
Yeah.
the urban.
Trying to pause this thing. The redirection, right, of the water. He's saying that redirection is like, it looks like it's taking it away from Mexico. They don't get any of it. But then again, maybe they got other water sources too. But it's like, man,
into the urban megalopolis here of the Phoenix Valley, and also the city of Tucson is at the end of this 336-mile canal. So that's mind-blowing just by itself. But the ironic part of this whole thing is that this canal is placed in a way in this landscape so it actually functions as a water harvesting structure. You see, we've got water coming down these hills, right? Runoff when you get big monsoon rains and flash floods coming down. And this canal.
Yeah, so then that would go into the canal also. So that's not only bringing more water in, it's sucking up all the water on its way through, I think.
Is built up on a berm, right? This canal is built up so the runoff doesn't come and wash things into this water. So it's built up, but it serves as this giant berm.
Okay. So it's built up, so that makes the runoff water not go in the canal, but it sits there. And that's probably what's causing the forest, because the water's sitting there next to the canal instead of being absorbed into the ground or whatever would happen after, it would normally get there if the canal wasn't there, right?
Accepts this flowing water and creates these big forests of native vegetation, right? It's like a giant swale inadvertently placed in the landscape that acts as this massive water harvesting structure. So in permaculture, we talk a lot about how, the perfect feature for the desert landscape, right, is to put these swales perpendicular to the water flow, so when the rains come, the rain pools up against these berms and soaks in order to grow trees.
Yeah. Yep.
So here, inadvertently, this whole canal system is serving as a giant berm in the landscape where all the water is rushing down these mountainsides here into these washes and drainages and, flowing down during rains. And then it's all pooling up on the upside of this canal here and creating this native forest.
Yeah, so it's changing the landscape, but it's like, maybe the forest is good for the area too. That's crazy how that works, though.
Bill Mollison came to the Sonoran Desert back in the early 80s to show these big swales that were dug by the Civilian Conservation Corps, and showed how if you just put these big swales in the landscape and leave them, then a forest will grow. And here we are, between 30 and 50 years after the construction of this canal, and we have this whole long network of these forests created by this inadvertent swale placed in the desert landscape. So,
and it's crazy, like, how does the seeds get there? Is it like birds flying around, dropping the seeds from other places? you know, because it's like in the desert, you would think if it hasn't been nothing but dirt and sand, then there wouldn't be any seeds to grow those plants, right? So it's got to be like dropping, you know, from birds or something. That's crazy.
So here I am underneath the canopy of this mesquite tree right here. And this is down here in the basin on the uphill side of the Central Arizona Project Canal. And it's late November right now, so the leaves are not on the trees here. But in the summertime, this is going to be a dark, shady place with lots of stored moisture in the soil and fertility from all of the leaves dropping.
He's talking about it's gonna be, you know, maybe it's because it's not the summertime right now or whatever he's talking about, but he's like, oh, all the stored moisture, and he's digging down, and it's just all dry ass dirt.
Dropping from these trees. So this is an excellent oasis type microclimate that's been created by all of this water pulling up here. In the desert, places like this where you have diversity of species, you've got tree canopy, these are really important areas for the ecology to take respite from the open desert. So you can see what this looks like in comparison here to the open exposed desert. It's a completely different and sheltered ecosystem. So in a way, it's this massive piece of infrastructure that's evaporating all this water. It's very much not working on biological systems, right? This is a human, concrete, designed piece of infrastructure that is losing water. It's not increasing biological systems, biological diversity along the way, but inadvertently, accidentally, it is creating this proof of the biological solutions to the water problems of the deserts, harvesting the periodic runoff that
Very good point.
comes in heavy rains. So it's just really mind-blowing to think about, and to think about all the diversity, habitat, the groundwater that's actually being built by the water soaking in on the uphill slope of the Central Arizona Project.
Very cool. So that was the canal that accidentally grew a forest in the Arizona desert. So very interesting. Just, you know, by doing one thing with one purpose, they accidentally proved another person's theory that that would happen, and like, you know, there it would make a forest if you create the I don't know what he called it, but the embankment essentially, you know, so that the runoff collects and stuff. So very cool, very cool. Anyways, have a super fun, awesome day, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, take care.